Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fabulous episode of the Killer Author Club. We are so excited to have Hannah Mary McKinnon back in the clubhouse tonight. We'll be talking about her brand new book, so we have a ton to talk about. So grab your cocktail and your list of questions, and we will see you on the other side.
Thought you really loved me, guess I was wrong. Thought you'd never leave me, guess I was dumb. Waited like forever to be your plus one, but I guess you were done.
Hello, everyone. And if you are new to the Killer Author Club, welcome to you. And to our tried and true members, thank you for coming back. I'm Killer Heather Goodenkoff, and with me is Killer Kimberly Bell and Killer Kara Ruda. We are so excited to be welcoming Hannah Mary McKinnon back again. She will be talking about her brand new book, Only One Survives, which actually comes out on July 16th, so we get a little bit of a sneak peek here. So we'll be talking all things killing of the fictional kind, of course. So make sure that you drop your questions for Hannah in the comments, and we will look them over and share as many as we possibly can. And so, Kimberly, can you officially introduce our killer guest?
I would love to. Internationally best-selling author Hannah Mary McKinnon was born in the UK, grew up in Switzerland, and moved to Canada in 2010. While her debut Time After Time was a rom-com, she transitioned to the dark side thereafter. Welcome. Her 7 suspense novels include Never Coming Home, The Revenge List, and Only One Survives, and her work has been optioned for the screen. It's rumored Hannah Mary still has a softer side because she also writes holiday romantic comedies as Holly Cassidy, the next of which is The Christmas Countdown, which comes out, I'm guessing, around Christmas time. Hannah Mary lives in Oakville, Ontario, Canada, with her husband and 3 sons. Congrats, Hannah, and welcome.
Thank you. I'm absolutely thrilled to be back again with you. Wonderful, wonderful, talented ladies. It's fantastic. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. And we have a lot to talk about your latest book in great detail in just a minute. But for now, could you give us the elevator pitch for Only One Survives?
Sure, I'd love to. So Only One Survives, oh, there it is. Only One Survives is the tale of the rise and very violent demise of the all-female pop rock group, The Bittersweet. After a fatal accident, one of them decides, well, the band is finished, so it's probably now worth more dead than alive. And some very bad things happen. We'll just leave it right there.
And we're going to talk about those very bad things. We won't give any spoilers away, but we do have questions, lots of questions for you, and a reminder to everyone out there to drop your questions in the comments for us to add to our list. But first, let's talk about this episode's special drink. Kara.
Absolutely. All right. Well, the killers love our cocktails and mocktails. And so every episode, we ask our killer guests to come equipped with a favorite. And the recipes for tonight's drinks and all the rest of the drinks that we've talked about, all the episodes are available at killerauthorclub.com. So, Hannah, you chose the Rock and Rolla as your special drink tonight. Can you tell us about it?
I sure can. I mean, just the name, it had to be. Plus, it's a Guy Ritchie movie, which I really enjoyed too. So, it's basically oven-proof. Hello, overproof, but oven-proof bourbon. That will be interesting. Bourbon and apple juice, lemon juice, maple syrup, a little touch of Canadian there. You know, considering that's where I live, and allspice liqueur and bitters and. It's very, very delicious, but go easy because it's pretty strong, but very, very tasty. And I thought that just the name fits so well with the book. It had to be the Rock and Roller. It just had to be.
I love it. And I love that it's the Rock and Rolla. So that's
yeah.
You can say roller, you got to say rolla. So it's good. Yes. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. And cheers. And we're so glad to have you back.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Congratulations to another great read.
I have water because it's.
That's right.
See. So,
Okay.
in case you didn't know, the Killers and I started the Killer Author Club 2 years ago so that readers like you can interact with some of the best suspense and thriller authors in the biz, like Hannah Mary. And our summer and fall lineup includes superstars like Rachel Housel Hall, Sandra Block, CJ Box, Jeff Deaver, and Isabella Maldonado, and so many more. You can find dates, times, past episodes, and much more at killerauthorclub.com. But tonight we are here to talk about Only One Survives. So, Library Journal says, for readers eagerly awaiting the return of Yellow Jackets, this novel from McKinnon blends the musical highs of Taylor Jenkins Reid, Stacey Jones and the Six with the darkness of the girls by Emma Cline in a twisty thriller that is hard to resist. Wow, what high praise. And Geneva Rose says it's rock and roll with a dash or two of murder in this juicy thriller. And Kimberly Bell, our very own, says McKinnon is a master at flipping the script with twists that will keep the readers on their toes. So Hannah, we know that you very well that you are a very accomplished killer. So tell us, how do you kill?
In this book, I would say in stealth mode.
Agreed.
That's probably the best way I could describe it, and fictionally, of course, just
Right.
in the book. Definitely, quietly, secretly, and very, very sneakily. Stealth mode in this one, for sure.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Yes, so many twists and turns, so many. Yeah, and so this is, such a fun concept. You have this all-female rock band who ends up in dire straits. Where did you come up with the idea?
So, actually, a couple of author friends, Samantha M. Bailey and Jennifer Hillier, helped me out a little bit with this one because I had a concept. I'd seen this old derelict house close to where I live, and it was just very old and decrepit. It was falling to bits. And on a winter's day with snow on the ground, I drove past and I saw something written on the front door in red paint. So I stopped and it said, "Come play." And I thought that was so creepy. It was just, did I go
So
in?
creepy.
No, I did not. I write creepy stuff, but I'm chicken, so of course not. But it stayed with me, and I thought that would be really interesting as a setting. And I tried to build a plot around a group of women who were work colleagues and who ended up at this similar type of house. But I wasn't sure that it worked, so I sent it to my editor, a paragraph or whatever, and she said, "Do you think people want to read about work? Don't we want to try and escape from work?" I thought, yeah, fair point. So I noodled it around a little bit more, and I thought, well, maybe a group of women, maybe a book club. But stereotypically, book clubs can be quite tame, and I thought, that doesn't really fit either. And I was chatting with Sam Bailey and Jenny Hillier, and I said, I've got this idea, but work colleagues, no, book club, no. I need something with a group of women. What do you think that could be? And Sam said, well, could you make them a band? And that was it. It was just, yes, perfect. I can. And while the whole cabin stuff stayed and it plays a significant part in the story, everything else that I tried to fit around the work plot just completely shifted and got chucked out the windows. And I'm so glad Sam gave me those 6 words: can you make them a band?
Great.
and that was it. I had a lot of fun writing the outline, because I outlined heavily, and then working through the whole story with all the music components, because the music industry is something I knew absolutely nothing about. So that was a challenge in itself.
And how did you come up with the band's name, The Bittersweet?
Do you know what? That was almost instant, and I have no idea why. I was just sitting here thinking, okay, I'm going to have a band. It's all women, and the story is going to be kind of bittersweet. Oh, bittersweet. Oh, great. Yeah, let's use that. So that was, for whatever reason, an easy part and it just seemed to fit.
I love it. Okay, so two things. I'm calling Sam next time I get stuck on a story.
Me too. I hope she's listening.
I love her. And number two, there are all sorts of people on here asking if there's a playlist for the book. And I have to know the answer, but you tell.
Not only a playlist, there is on my website, hannahmarymckinnon.com, we have free bonus material to enhance the reader experience. So there's a reader letter, there's a playlist with a Spotify link, there's an author interview, a more in-depth conversation, and there are song lyrics because there are 6 bittersweet songs mentioned in the book. So I wrote lyrics for the 6 songs, and that's all beautifully packaged by the team at HarperCollins and downloadable. But there are spoiler questions for book clubs, so make sure you skip that part if you go and download the bonus material. Just skip the questions until you've read the book.
Okay, HannahMaryMcKinnon.com, you said.
Yes, that's right.
I'm dropping it in the comments right now.
So you actually wrote lyrics.
I did, yeah. Not the tune.
Are you musical? Are you a musical person?
I got kicked out of the school band because I sucked at playing the organ so bad. I kid you not. Somebody very gently suggested that perhaps this wasn't the right fit for me, and they were totally right. But as I was writing the book, I thought it would be really fun to have lyrics to kind of demonstrate what Vienna, the main character, is thinking, but through her songs. So I had the titles of the songs, and then I crafted lyrics, not the tunes. I can't sing either, so definitely not. Don't ask me to sing anything because the answer is no, because I can't. And that would be a composer's job anyway, right? You have the lyricist and the composer, and sometimes they can do both, but no, just words.
So how hard was that to write lyrics? That must feel like a very different skill.
It was. It was difficult because you always think that everything has to rhyme, but it doesn't necessarily. And then also, well, how many, what's the rhythm of the song? How does it fit together? So I listened to a lot of music and tried to deconstruct how they were written, to try and figure out if I could even attempt this. So I gave it a go, and yeah, the words are there. So it was fun. I'd love to do more of it, to be honest. I thought it was a really fun experience. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as you wrote and got to know the characters like Vienna and Madison and their music, did you have a band in mind that you listened to, or you kind of thought might have their same vibe or their same sound as the Bittersweet?
I did. I mean, there's lots of female bands from the 70s and 80s. The Bangles, for example, the Runaways, the Go-Go's. So one recent band that I really, really like is a Torontonian band called the Beaches, and they're a little bit older than the women in the book, but they're, say, mid-20s and up, 26, 27, 28, 29. And they are fantastic. I saw them in concert, and they're brilliant. So that kind of sound was what I was going for. So, pop rock, a little bit edgy. If you know the song, Blame Brett? Blame My Ex? Blame Brett is the song by the Beaches. Very popular. It went viral. So it's that kind of sound that I was going after. Yeah. They're excellent. They're really, really good. If you catch them in concert, don't miss them. They're great.
Sounds good.
Okay. So I have a plotting question, I guess, because I am a plotter, and the other two are killers are either full-on pantsers or reformed pantsers, now plotters. But okay, so you go back and forth between the time that Madison and Vienna meet and then the day of the accident. So you've kind of flipped back and forth as you're telling the story. So do you write it in that order, or do you write first? Because you know where you're going, right? But do you write first like the past scenes and then the present scenes and then weave everything together? How do you do it?
So initially in the outline, the book was always going to be in very two distinct parts. And so that part one includes the scenes at the cabin and the scenes or the history of the band and how they all came together. And then part two is what happens in the aftermath of the accident. And initially I had the cabin scenes at the end of part one. And it was actually my editor who said, I think it would work really well if you split that up. I thought, okay, it was still at the plotting stage. I thought, okay, yeah, I'll figure that out later. It sounds good. I like the idea. Let me see what I can do. So I wrote part one, including the cabin scenes. And then, so I wrote the cabin scenes all in one go. And I think there's about 10 of them. And they're on the shorter side. They're about 1,000 to 1,500 words each. And so I took all of those out, chopped them up, edited them, and then figured out where I would drop them in. So I was able to weave them in that way. And that seemed to work really well for a non-linear timeline for me, because of course the book doesn't have to be written in the order that it's read.
Yeah,
which I didn't know when I started on this journey. I thought that every author wrote the book in the order that we as a reader experience it. But that is, of course, not true at all.
Yeah. Some do, and then some are like you that thread it in. But I think that it's possible to do things like that because you know your story, because you thought about it beforehand.
Exactly, because we plot, right? So I think that's what makes that actually possible. I've never written a book without having at least some kind of an outline. So I can't get my head around how authors do that. I mean, Mary Kubica famously doesn't plot, or she didn't anyway. I don't know if she does now. And she said that she writes, say she has a story with 3 characters or point of view characters. She'll write one, she'll write the second, she'll write the third, and then weave it together. And my head explodes.
I know.
I just don't know how she does it. It's just, I don't know. So you're a plotter, Kimberly. Heather, do you plot? Are you the reformed pantser?
I am in pantser rehab.
What does that look like?
That means like I've hit rock bottom during some projects where I've written myself into so many corners and had to rewrite that I reached out for my sponsor, who is Kimberly, and no, I don't
keeping her on the straight and narrow,
the 12-step programs, but it's just been a really nice experiment for me, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm working on my next book. I've plotted it out, and it's I think it's so interesting because you put your energy into different things, and my hope, I'll let you know when I get to that point, but I'm not spending a lot of energy at this point dumping what I've written already and rewriting and backtracking, but I'm not done yet, so that could still happen.
But you have a guideline. So Kara, you are the pantser.
I'm a holdout. I am.
And we can't entice you over to the plotting side yet then.
No, I don't. Well, and I mean, I've tried it before, and then my characters are they're like, oh, this is terrible. Why are you doing this to me? And maybe it's me. I'm not sure. Some of us don't like it at all. So anyway, but I've gotten to a rhythm with my agent where I give them just enough for them to say, oh, that's terrible, or okay, that might have something. And then I go away and write. I don't know. I used to just go and write the whole thing and then write an outline based on what I'd already written and then submit that, which is a really bad process. Don't do that. But anyway, that was my old way. And then they found out I was doing that probably through this show. What are you doing? Don't do that anymore. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. Sorry about that.
But
So,
it works for you. It works for
Yeah.
you, and you know what, people have to find what works best.
Exactly. That's the thing,
for
isn't it?
themselves.
Every author has a slightly different twist on how we do stuff. And I think for anyone who's watching who wants to write or is writing, that's probably very reassuring, you know, that
Yeah.
you're not doing it wrong. Whatever you're doing that works for you is the right way.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. And yeah, we're all weird. We just have different weird ways to do things.
We're all weird. I should have that on a t-shirt.
I know. I think I do.
Yes. Well, and you know, talking a little bit about format and how you chose to structure everything, you also included like blog posts and comment sections, which I really enjoy as a reader. And you know, from the very beginning of Madison, look at the puppy, Madison and Vienna's partnership, people in the comment section are already trying to pit them against each other, and you know, Team Vienna, Team Madison. Why do we do this? And why do we see this? You know, especially I think, and I don't know what you chime in. We see it with women. Why do we do that? Or not just women doing it, but against women, trying to pit people against each other.
That's a really interesting question. The answer is I don't really know. I think, you know, you notice it. Certainly I noticed that in school and high school, later on when I was studying at work, when I was pregnant, when I had the baby, you know, you know, is he walking yet? You know, no, he's 3 months old. You know, it's just, it's such a bizarre thing to observe, and that was really what I wanted to convey. When I write my books, my main goal is to entertain. That's whenever anyone says, what do you want people to take away from your books? I just want people to have a good time. That's really what my aim is. You know, read the book, have a great time, think that was fun. What else has she written? You know, that's my primary goal. But I was also interested in this one through social media, showing how social media comments, which, let's face it, we have all been subjected to, can really get under somebody's skin. And you have people fighting on two people's behalf, you know, Madison and Vienna, who don't know the people. They don't know these two artists. They don't know these singers, and yet they're forming all of these opinions based on what they've seen on social media or read online or whatever. And I find that really interesting and strange. But I'm no psychologist, definitely, so I couldn't give the ins and outs as to why we do it. But it is an odd phenomenon. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, it is an odd phenomenon, and yeah, I can't make heads or tails of why we do that to each other, but it just seems like it's what goes on these days. But you convey it perfectly in the book, obviously, and I gotta say the twists in this book, they were literally jaw-dropping. So once you figured out the direction you were going to go, did you know that was the twist you were going to have? Did you always know what was going to happen at the end without giving any spoilers?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Vienna is exactly, or all of the band members actually are exactly where I envisaged they would be when I was outlining the novel. Things changed a little bit in the middle because I'd written an outline and I figured I knew what was going to happen. And then I called Hank Philippi Rye, and I said, hey, can you and Jonathan, her husband, who's a lawyer, can you help me out with this? If this happens, can this happen? And her husband went, oh, no. That would not, no, that would take years. No. So I swiftly tiptoed away from that idea that I'd had and wrote it differently. So thankfully I checked before I went too far down that rabbit hole, or it would have been a rewrite. Or I would have had some lawyers sending me messages saying, you have no idea what you're writing about.
That would definitely happen. You'll get called out so quickly.
Oh, you guys, I think it's time. It's time.
Is it? Oh,
Yes,
it goes
it
too
is time.
fast.
But I want to ask one question because I saw so many of them fly by. Which is easier to write, thrillers or rom-coms?
Neither. Neither. And here's why, very quickly. Thrillers, you have to come up with jaw-dropping twists and turns and stuff, a reveal at the end that surprises but doesn't come out of nowhere, seemingly. You've got to get the balance right. Some people will see it, some people won't. Hopefully you'll get it right for most people. Romantic comedies, you don't need that reveal because the expectation is that the love interests end up together and there's a happy ever after. And that's the difficult part because people know what the ending will be. How do you take them along for the ride? How do you make it interesting when they already know that these two people are going to end up together or suspect? I mean, you watch a rom-com, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So what makes it entertaining? What makes it interesting? So neither is easy. So
That's a great.
Well, I'm impressed.
Yeah, me too.
You
I
do
think
both.
it's fascinating that you can flip your head into like romance and happily ever after.
I'm always
And then
glad
the
to
next
get back to the fictional killing once I've done all the lovey stuff. It's like, okay, that's enough. That's enough of that. And then once I've finished with the fictional, slaughter, then let's go and have some happy light times again. So it's a nice balance. It's fun.
Yeah, it's you must flip a switch in your brain.
Yeah.
What did we say
right,
on our t-shirts? We are weird or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know it.
That could be the name of our band.
Right.
Our band. The Weirdos. Yeah.
No one's going to want to come hear that. Okay.
All right, guys. So Hannah is giving away 3 books tonight. So it's not out for another month, but you could win one of 3, 2 paperback copies and 1 audiobook of Only One Survives to 3 lucky Killer Author Club viewers. Doesn't matter if you're watching us on Facebook or Instagram, YouTube. We scour the comments everywhere we stream, but please make sure to shout out where you're from when you answer this question. What type of books does Hannah write under her pseudonym, Holly Cassidy? What could it be? What could it be?
Sci-fi.
Yeah. And it's not sci-fi. Okay. Authors love indies and we want to support them in any way we can. That's why we ask every author to tell us their favorite. And Hannah has chosen A Different Drummer Books in Burlington, Ontario. Hannah, can you tell us about this bookstore?
Oh, I love this. Oh my gosh, A Different Drummer has my heart. It's set in well, exactly that building, a beautiful Victorian standalone house. It's on 3 different floors. It has all these little nooks and crannies and books everywhere. And Ian Elliott, the owner, is a phenomenal supporter of authors. He does so much for the community. And I think he's run the shop now for 25 years. So it's a beautiful, superb bookshop with lots of events that happen there as well. And it actually has a place, as does Ian and his wife, Elizabeth, in my next Holly Cassidy book, The Christmas Countdown. It's actually mentioned in that book. I asked him if it was okay, and he said, oh, that would be lovely. So it features in the next Holly Cassidy book.
Oh, that's nice. I love that. Okay, we'll we will drop the link, not drink the link, to Only One Survives in the comments, or probably Kimberly already did. Did you already do that? Yes, you already did. You guys already know before I did that. Okay, anyway, Heather,
Yeah, so tonight we have a special occasion to celebrate. We have a book by one of our killer author alumni. So we have A Daughter of Fair Verona by Christine Dodd. It releases on June 25th, and Christina is giving away 5 copies, people, 5 copies to some lucky US viewers. And here's a fun bit about the book. I'm the eldest daughter of Romeo and Juliet. Yes, that Romeo and Juliet. No, they didn't die in the tomb. They're alive and well and living in fair Verona with their 6 wildly impetuous children and me, their 19-year-old daughter, Rosaline. So it's described as Knives Out meets Shakespeare. So if that's not a teaser for you, I don't know what is.
I'm
so if
sold.
You're interested,
Me
yeah,
too.
if you're interested in this book, be sure that you drop some comments about it and why you might want to read it, and let us know where you're from as well.
Yes.
Susie
Oh my
Moore.
gosh. I'm so
That's
buying
fun.
that. Pre-order.
Can I enter?
So, as much as we'd love to invite every amazing killer author to be featured on our shows, there are so many fabulous authors and books, and only 3 of us. But we can't let this evening go by without celebrating 2 very special authors with brand new releases. First up, we have The Vixen Amber Holloway by Carol LaHines. Came out on June 11th, and Carol is giving away 1 copy to a U.S. reader. Ophelia, a professor of Dante, is stricken when she discovers that her husband Andy has been cheating on her with a colleague. What follows is Ophelia's figurative descent into hell as she obsessively tracks her subjects and even moves into the property next door to Amber's. Sounds amazing. It is a jailhouse confessional, a dark comedy about women's rage, a revenge fantasy, and a portrait of a woman's psychological breakdown. And we also have The Unwedding by Ali Condi, which is a Reese's book club pick for June. Who's Reese? Ali is giving away 2 copies. It is about a recent divorcee's vacation at an exclusive Big Sur resort, which unravels when a massive storm cuts the hotel off from the outside world and a dead body appears on the same day a wedding was set to occur. Gripping whodunit. Gripping whodunit that subverts the locked room trope. And yeah, it sounds amazing. I will be dropping both of those links into the comments right now.
Okay, and it's quiet over here on the Western Front. Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, membership has its privileges. So if you're on Facebook, check out our private members only group called the Killer Author Clubhouse. This is a place for really hardcore killers where we share book recs, have all sorts of murderous fun, and hold giveaways. Every episode, we choose a name randomly from the Clubhouse hat to win a piece of Killer Author Club swag. T-shirts, mugs, candles, totes, hats, all of which can be found at killerauthorclub.com. Tonight's winner is Connie Hill. Connie, congratulations. Please send one of us killers your address, and we'll send some Killer Author swag your way.
And you know what, Hannah? You, once again, have the honor of surviving the Killer Author Club. And how perfect. You survived and your book title is Only One Survives. So how fitting is that? So congratulations. We love the book, so we know that readers everywhere will be clamoring to get their copy, which it will hit the shelves on July 16th. So congratulations. Everyone's waiting on pins and needles.
So thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you all so much. It's been lovely being back, and thank you everyone for watching too. It's always such a pleasure. Such a pleasure, truly.
A blast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very fun.
So, guys, that does it for tonight's episode. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and to Hannah, of course, for being here and for surviving. We will be back again in 2 weeks on July 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific with the one and only Wanda Morris and her fabulous new thriller, which is out today, What You Leave Behind. In the meantime, please find us wasting entirely too much time on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. For all information you need, times, upcoming schedules, past episodes, where to watch, recipes, merch, all of the above, surf to killerauthorclub.com. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I get tired